Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. Here I am, swaying, going to work, training work, because I got to train for 8 weeks. All right, but anyway, so it's an hour drive. Now it's 15 minutes, but I'll be getting there around 2:38. Training starts at 3. But anyway, so I did another survey. Are people happy with Biden's job? Because I saw that on a poll today that they made that young people from the ages, I think it was 18 or 45, something like that, were not satisfied. 41% was not satisfied with Biden's job, right? But then I come to think about, you know, some people are the one, they think they're privileged, right? Or number two, are not grateful for what they have. And when I say this because they think that we are going through, that we are suffering because we got gas high prices, or the inflation is high. But they don't. These people that who are people who voted for Biden. Let's just say for people who voted for Biden or didn't vote for Biden. They don't see the big picture that gas prices is high around the world, not just the United States of America. Some people say, well, I don't care about the United States. I don't care about other countries. I care about here. Well, let's talk about here. There's not much that Mr. President Joe Biden
turn left on
or any president could do. There isn't. There's not too much. I mean, he tried to do as much as he could to produce more oil, and OPEC, I assume if I'm not mistaken, they reduced the price. It depends on the barrel of the oil, how much is the barrel of the oil. But people scream when things go high. You know, here you are. You had Joe Biden, who approved the Child Tax Credit Act, right? So that you working people can get extra cash for your kids, right? And in December, the Senate said no, right? The Senate said no. Why? Because it costs too much money. And every Republican, whether it's senator or constituent, was basically saying no because it costs too much money, right? But yet, we send billions of dollars to Ukraine. Billions. But that's okay. I mean millions, not billions, I'm sorry, millions. But that's okay, right? But that's not expensive at all. Alright? So they complain that the economy is no good, which it is, but you don't see it because of inflation. But if you look it up, you'll see that the economy is doing great. Unemployment is doing good. It's at 3.7, right? So unemployment is going down. So what's the problem? You know, he can only do so much. Any president can only do so much in 1 or 2 years. There are other things that a president needs to do. So the GDP, our GDP has gone up. Our economy has grown faster than any other president in the last 40 years. But people don't see that. But I don't like how about Biden is when he talks. I mean, he's got to read, because if he doesn't read, or sometimes when he reads, I think when he reads, that's when he messes up. But he stumbles upon his word, and it's not because he's old, it's just because he stutters. And from people who stutter, and I stutter a little bit, it's kind of hard sometimes to speak correctly, and some people say, what? But he does make mistakes, of course. But compare him to Donald Trump. Donald Trump was coherent, and he still spoke. Like, you can understand a word he said. And the most of the things that he said was just gibberish that made no sense at all. Compare Donald Trump's speeches compared to other presidents' speeches. Like when they bombed, when we got Bin Laden, and we also got Al Qaeda's whatever, I forgot his name is, Harish, whatever his name is. If you see his speech with Barack Obama's speech, two different speeches. Donald Trump was giving credit, he was giving credit to himself, while Donald Trump was giving credit to himself, while Barack Obama was giving credit to himself. I mean, Jesus. Donald Trump was giving credit to himself, while Barack Obama was thanking the troops. Okay? Most of these things that Donald Trump said made no sense at all. If you listen to his word, one of the things that was funny was when he said Puerto Rico is surrounded by water, a lot of water. No shit. When he talked about a hurricane, I forgot which hurricane it was. He said the hurricane has a lot of rain. No shit. What do hurricanes do? And then he says something that was really, 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 really funny or stupid at the same time. That we should nuke hurricanes. We should send nukes inside the hurricanes so they can disperse and not be hurricanes anymore, and that gets rid of the hurricane. That makes sense from a meteorological point of view, right? That makes a lot of sense. A lot of things that Donald Trump said makes no sense, and if you hear him, you see him. I'm smart. I think I know more about windmills than anybody else in this world. I'm the smartest man there is when it comes to technology. I know about technology. I know about this. It's all me. And for a person who went to college, his speech is very limited. His words is very limited. Even when they asked him, because he's so called converted himself, when they asked him, what's your best verse in the Bible? Everyone who believes in God has a verse in the Bible, or whoever the Bible that likes a verse. All right, so they asked him, and he said, "Oh, I like all of them. I can't be specific. I can be." Because he said, "No." Everybody in the mother knows John 3:16. You could have said John 3:16, but he didn't. But anyway, back to Biden. So, if the people are not seeing money go into their pockets, and they don't see other things, so they're not satisfied. So being that they don't see that the GDP is going up because they don't do their research. They don't see the unemployment is going down, or they do see it, but they just don't care. Okay? They don't see that, they don't care that our economy, if you look it up right now, it's better now than it was years ago, in the last 40 years. Why? Because he's doing something, but people just don't care because they don't see it in their pockets. And what they don't understand is that we have a shortage of truck drivers. We have a shortage. The supply and demand is way too big. The demand is much higher than the supply. So there's going to be a big inflation, and that's where inflation comes from, for the most part. You know, and the high gasoline. We all knew that once COVID hit, that once COVID would subside, and states would lower down their mandates, that gas prices was going to go up because OPEC wasn't going to stay with its hands down. Okay, they're the one that control gas prices. So the barrel of oil goes up, gas goes up. That's simple. Everybody knows that. But everybody refuses to accept that. Oh, it's Biden's fault. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Oh, it's Barack's fault. Oh, it's George Bush's fault. No, it's not. I can tell Saudi Arabia, I need you to produce me more oil. The price of oil can go down, the barrel of oil. Or you can do do business with Venezuela and get oil from Venezuela. But they don't want to deal with a dictatorship, which I understand. So why get angry at a man who can't do, there are certain things he can't control? Right? You're paying more in taxes perhaps now that you don't see it, because the tax break that Donald Trump gave, and you can look this up, back in 2017, which for corporations and individuals, that went up. But for individuals, it stopped this year. No, it stopped last year when Biden became president. So it stopped last year. So from last year on, your individual taxes for us is going to go up until 2027. And in 2027, we'll be paying more in taxes than we did back in 2017, thanks to Donald Trump. But corporate taxes remain the same. That's a nice little house. Corporate taxes remain the same. So corporates are still making money. Okay? But people don't see that. There was a man yesterday that I saw in the news, on YouTube. It was a reverend. He was a Trump supporter. He had a shirt from the governor of his state, and he went to see a Trump rally. And Trump's people said he is not welcome there because, check this out, because that governor is not endorsed and is not wanted by the Republican Party. So they didn't let him in. And he was furious. And he's talking about, I can't believe, now I know that everything and everyone is with this cancel culture. They want to cancel everything. And they asked him, will you vote for president? Will you vote for Trump against him? No, he said no. So what does that tell you? If you're not aligned with them, you're not one of them. It's like Jehovah's Witnesses. If you're gay and you're a Jehovah's Witness, you cannot be a Jehovah's Witness. They'll shun you out. The Mormons have a big, it's like the cathedral in Rome, but in Europe, and the Mormons did a big church. But if your name is not on that list, you can't go in that church, even if you're a Mormon. Isn't that a conundrum? So it perplexes me. Why are people, if it's not money, they're not satisfied? They have to have their pockets full in order for them to be satisfied. Money's good, but money isn't everything. Healthcare, why don't we have universal healthcare? But you worried about money? Everything's expensive, of course. But think about all those people who are sleeping in the streets. All those people who have no places to sleep. Sleeping in the streets. Have no food. People who have a house but don't have enough money to feed their family. And when you had the child tax credit, was I in agreement with it at first? No, I was not, because I didn't think about it. It is too much money to spend. But it took a lot of people out of poverty. The poverty rate went down. Our poverty rate went down. And when the Republicans said no, and then it went back up. If you're a true Republican, look at everything that the Republicans have denied that benefits you Republicans, that it benefits the Republicans, but it doesn't benefit the Republican Party, but it does benefit Republicans. It helps out everybody. In the long run, it helps out everybody, but yet the Republicans denied it. Just look at every passage or everything that the Democrats have put into, have set forth in the Senate, and the Senate had said no. Even Manchin and Seba, whatever that woman's name is, those two Democrats who act Republican, have rejected ideas. Those aren't Democrats. Those aren't people. Those are just people who want money, who are taking bribes from lobbyists. That's what they're doing. The other day, Manchin's company made him $100,000 and some odd just in one day for a company that he has. I think it's a drug company that he's part of. He owns a yacht. That doesn't mean nothing. But a yacht in West Virginia, And then you talk about these Republicans. Look at Mississippi. The state of Mississippi is poor. The poorest state in our nation. Why is Mississippi poor? And that's a Republican state. Kentucky's poor, and that's a Republican state. And I'm not trying to put the figure out because they're Democrat or Republican, but someone is going to see my video and say, "Oh, King G, you're doing it because you're against Republicans." No, I'm not against Republicans. But the fact of the matter is that if you feel proud for your party, you feel proud from wherever you are. Why are those people suffering? Same way where they said that the Democrats were going to go after your guns and Democrats were going to steal your guns. Have you lost your gun? Have you lost the right to own a gun? No, because that's something that can't be taken away from you.
I don't understand.
That was weird. Something they can't take away from you. But the Republican Party wants you to. The Republican Party has become a fanatic. The Republican Party has just become a party of the party. They're not no more for the people. They're not no more for you. It's for themselves. If you don't say what McCarthy wants you to say, if you don't say what the other people saying, you're not in the party. You're not. Lindsey Graham, if you don't, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And they'll shun you out. They'll shun you out. Because you're not aligned. Look, put it this way. I'm a Republican, right? I'll give you an example. If I was a Republican, I wouldn't give a rat's ass. A rat's ass. What Trump has to say, I wouldn't give a rat's ass. What McCarthy has to say, I wouldn't give a rat's ass of what any of them have to say, because they didn't get me elected. The people, the constituents of my state, whichever state is there, they're the ones that got me elected. And I would go as much from home to home to find out whether you're Democrat or Republican, what is it that you need? What is it that you think the states need? I would get in contact with my people. And the Republican Party says, well, King Gio, you're out of the Republican Party, then I'm out of the Republican Party. But at least I served the people. I didn't serve the party. And that's what's happening now. This is in both parties. That's what's happening now. But you see it mostly with Republicans. Right? Now the Republicans just said that they're not going to do any more presidential debates. A debate, it is what people get to understand. What are your points? What are your views? But they're saying no. So the committee or whatever the hell it is. And you know, I used to love politics, but I'm getting not to like it anymore, because it's just the same thing. You know, I would love to see Bernie Sanders as president of the United States. Even though it may cost a lot of money, but you would have universal health care, the streets will be better, your bridges will be better, the policing will be better, right? Then the other day, a police officer shot a man right in the head, in the back of the head. Now granted, the guy was resisting, but why would you need to shoot him in the back of the head while you were right behind him? You have there's ways to, bro. I understand. I mean, I think being a police officer or in the academy, they should teach you some form of martial arts. You know, some form of grappling. But I just don't understand it. So why is it that the economy is doing good, our GDP is doing good, our unemployment is down to 3.7, but yet Biden is not doing a good job? Why is it? Why is that? There are things that he should be doing that I think he ran on the promise. Student debt, they're going to eliminate a couple of 100,000 people, over 40,000 people student debt. He's already eliminated over $13 billion, but that's on a different program. But he said he was going to run. He ran on the notion that he was going to eliminate everything under $10,000, and he has not done so. Whether that's a strategical move remains to be seen, which I think it is. I think he'll do that right before the midterms, so that will help the Democrat Party and those who are running who are running for Senate seats or are being reelected in the Democratic Party. I think he will do something because he has that power to do that. And nothing much is going to be moved because the Republicans are going to refuse it, even if it's for the benefit of the United States. Right? I saw a video a year ago where Mitt Romney was in the room, and one of the senators, I forgot who it was, said, all we have to do is hold tight for 18 months and reject everything that President Biden and the Democrats put forward, and we'll be okay. You just gotta hold tight for 18 months. And you can Google it and you can see it on video, and that is pathetic. That is pathetic because that tells you they're not for you, they're for the party. That's what that tells you. At least that's what that tells me. I don't know what it tells you, but if you ask 10,000 people, 9,999 would say, that's exactly what it means. They're there for the party. So if I have a bill that is good for all, but it's coming from a Democrat side, that's what's bothering them. If it came from a Republican, they wouldn't care. They'll pass it. But being that it's coming from a Democrat, they don't want it passed. And that is sad. Because who suffers? The people. Not the party, because they're still getting paid every 2 weeks. They're still getting their pension. They're still doing their side hustle. But the people of the United States suffer, no matter from what party you are. They're the one who are suffering. They're the ones. So, why the approval rating so low? There's no money in your pocket? You have to get a second job? It's not the president's fault. Yesterday I was out and about. You saw that I was about in Givensville, and I saw help wanted sign everywhere. No one wants to work. In my hometown, there's help wanted sign everywhere. Don't want to work. Before I got this training job, I'd applied to another job. I applied to Liffey Cube, and they hired me on the spot. But when I got the job from this job, then I told them, listen, I respectfully say thank you for the job, but I cannot take it because I have another job offer and I'm going to take them. And you know what they said? If that doesn't work out with you over there, come back over. You can always come back to us because we need people with your attitude, and we need people like you are hard to find. Good workers like you are hard to find. My resume says it all, and stuff like that. So there's jobs. Do I want to work at Jiffy Lube? No, but I will do it because I want to work. I like to work. I would have done something different. I would have learned something different. I don't mind changes. I really don't. But people just don't want to work, and that's what's going on. And if we stuck together, woo, this world would be a whole different. The United States would be different. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Let's just, before you berate someone or before you put them down, I'm not just talking about President Biden, any president from any party, look what he or she has done first. Look what he or she is doing. What's being passed. Because remember, he or she can say anything. But if Congress, there's certain things that a president can't do on his or her own. But the majority of the things has to be passed through the Senate and to the House of Representatives. And if they don't get passed by both houses, the bill will not pass, and the president cannot sign it. So you got to look at that, and then judge what the president has done. All right. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and